Translating the Jussive in Targum Onkelos, the second part. In the first video, we talked about how dropping a final nun in an imperfect form is the hallmark of the Aramaic Jussive from Old Aramaic times forward to the Bible. Another example of this nun dropping appears in adding suffix pronouns. There's no energic nun in Daniel 5:10, let them not alarm you, which we know is a Jussive because of the al negative particle. And then you see in Daniel 4:16 there is an energic nun before adding that third person masculine singular suffix because that is an imperfect. Now there's actually a whole other class of Jussives that we just don't see in the Bible from Old Aramaic forward. And so in Dagan's grammar, we see on the right there on page 77, short imperfect forms for third yod verbs that differ from the long form. So you notice in that third person feminine singular, the THWY, there's an ending in a yod for the he vav he verb. And then on the left, you see yod he vav he actually for the third masculine singular long form. So there's a yod in the Jussive, not a he, as might have been expected. Now, we're talking about, in Genesis 1:3 in Onkelos, the he vav he verbal root. So does its form, yod he yod, signal a Jussive? Well, we can look in the Dead Sea Scrolls documents, and there are different forms. What appears to be a Jussive form, yod he yod, in this document, page 109 in this volume of DJD. And in the following document, there is the imperfect third person masculine singular form that actually looks like what we see in the Bible with a lamed prefix instead of a yod. The issue is, unfortunately, it looks like both of these forms have the same function in these two documents. So it looks like the system of different spellings for third yod verbs between imperfects and Jussives is breaking down in the Qumran Aramaic era. And then, of course, Onkelos comes later. So let's go back to Genesis 1:3, and we see this yod he yod form. Is it unique to represent Jussives? Unfortunately not, because it's the same form in Genesis 1:29 that we'll find a bit later to render yod he, the kal imperfect third person masculine singular. So all of this is to say, with the exception of Jeremiah 10:11, it appears that there is not an attempt to have a Jussive form remain in Jewish literary Aramaic.